China and Brazil take steps to distance themselves from the dollar. China and Brazil have come to an agreement to trade in their respective currencies, eliminating the need to trade using the world's current reserve currency, the United States dollar. The agreement, Beijing's most recent strike on the almighty dollar, will allow China, the biggest challenger to U.S. economic dominance, and Brazil, the largest economy in Latin America, to carry out their extensive trade and financial deals immediately, trading Chinese Yuan for Brazilian reals and vice versa, rather than paying in U.S. dollars. What does this imply for the U.S. dollar? Is the U.S. dollar's era as the world's reserve currency finally coming to an end? Hello and welcome to another video of Finance Sense, where we cover all the latest trends in the financial markets and the economy. Before we start, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment below if you enjoyed watching this video, and turn on the notification bell to keep posted. With that said, let's start. Due to its status as the reserve currency, the US dollar has been the dominant currency in the world for the past 8 decades. This refers to a currency accepted everywhere in the world, and since 1945, the United States dollar has held that position because of its safety, resilience, and stability. When the system was initially implemented, it served as a means of maintaining the stability of exchange rates, the cost of investments, and the price of commodities like gold and oil, since it was known that any currency you had would have a value that was pegged to the US dollar. When dozens of countries are all selling products and services with each other, it makes sense to have one global currency that is accepted worldwide and has a predictable value so that transactions may be conducted in that currency. If not, you encounter the potential risk of receiving payment in a currency that can be difficult to exchange or whose value may have decreased by the time you can swap it back into your home currency. So think of this as a way to send money around the world using the US dollar that everyone agrees is safe. The US benefits from this because more nations utilize the US currency and keep more dollars, giving Americans more purchasing power. The US dollar, however, appears to be in danger of losing its position as the world's reserve currency, and Ray Dalio's book, Principles for Dealing with the Changing World Order, might help us understand why. He emphasizes that the world order between the dominant economy and the emerging economy has changed continuously throughout history. Additionally, one will eventually fail to make room for something new. For example, prior to 1945, the reserve currency was a British pound, which lasted 105 years after the French Revolution, followed by the Netherlands, Spain, Portugal, Venetian gold, and so on. In other words, reserve currencies change every 100 years in a 10 to 20-year transition. So what is the reason behind this? Ray Dalio argues that the entire process may be broken down into 3 stages: the rise, the top, and the decline. Every time a new reserve currency is introduced, there is a period of rising wealth and stability during which individuals can borrow money and place bets on the new reserve currency. This is often characterized by a solid educational foundation, the ability to think critically, the development of moral character, and a strong work ethic that promotes innovation, new technology, and other resources for consistent growth. However, a mechanism for borrowing and letting individuals worldwide change their currencies into investments is necessary to finance a constant gain in productivity. In fact, Ray Dalio emphasizes that every successful reserve currency rose to the top by taking the exact same route. At its height, the general sentiment was that people's time became more valuable as their income increased compared to other nations that would be ready to do the same task for less. Additionally, other countries have the capacity to imitate the latest innovations at a fraction of the cost, which lowers the competitiveness of the current dominant country. The turning point, however, occurs when individuals lose confidence in the reserve currency, refuse to purchase it, and would prefer to sell rather than reinvest the profits, causing the decline. According to Ray Dalio, if a nation cannot pay its debts during an economic decline, it must decide between defaulting and printing new money. Unfortunately, they will always opt to create more money, which lowers the currency's value and increases inflation. Additionally, during the 1990s, the central bank intervened 3 times to fund the collapse of an industry, once during the dot-com boom, once during the housing crisis, and once during the COVID-19 shutdown. It has long been believed that when a government faces financial difficulties due to poor economic conditions or rising inflation, the wealthy transfer their assets to places, investments, and currencies in which they feel the most secure, allowing other countries to eventually replace them as the world's reserve currency. Interestingly, Dalio says that these types of events have been recurring since the Roman Empire. Despite the fact that no 2 changes have ever been precisely the same, there is a general pattern that we may examine in the present to predict what might occur in the future. In this scenario, the US dollar's value is definitely declining. Even if a dollar is always equal to a dollar, the dollar is not simply valued at that amount. It is measured against 3 distinct parameters. The first factor is how much the US dollar is worth in relation to other currencies. The second factor is a demand for 10-year treasury notes, and the third factor is what is referred to as foreign currency reserves, which measures how many US dollars other nations have. The value of the US dollar has indeed been steadily declining since 2020 when compared to other currencies. But despite the recent decline, the US dollar is actually stronger than in the past 20 years. Second, the demand for 10-year treasury notes is simply a 10-year loan to the government and individuals looking for a secure location to keep their money. However, the value of the dollar has actually increased along with interest rates, meaning that the more rates increase, the more the demand for those higher-yielding bonds, which is advantageous for the US dollar. Third, as other currencies start to replace the US dollar in reserves, the value of the US dollar has been progressively decreasing. According to CNBC, we are currently at the lowest level in 25 years. On March 29th, it was revealed that China and Brazil had struck a deal to trade in their own currencies, abandoning the US dollar as an intermediary. They currently trade about $150 billion worth of goods and services annually that don't go through the US. This would allow them to deal directly with each other without acquiring any US currency in the process. To be clear, this isn't the first time something similar has occurred. China has been moving away from the US dollar since 2010. Moreover, a year ago, Russia and India stopped using the US currency, and most recently, Saudi Arabia declared that it was considering the idea of dealing with the Chinese Yuan. Furthermore, the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, have already teamed up to do business and establish their own reserve currency separate from the dollar. So this isn't exactly a surprise, but it might have a huge influence. As a matter of fact, China's trading volume increased after the Russia-Ukraine war due to sanctions, allowing them to obtain an even greater position in global trade. But is this a cause for concern? And will the United States dollar soon lose its status as the world's reserve currency? Although the future of the US dollar appears bleak, nothing can even come close to replacing it. Most international trade is still denominated in US dollars, and this trend is not likely to change very soon. A number of moving parts would have to be in place before a new reserve currency in a large black swan event could emerge to challenge the United States' dominant position in international trade. But this doesn't imply there aren't any concerns at all, as Elon Musk himself stated in a tweet that this is a significant problem. Too much hegemony in US policy has led some nations to wish to abandon the currency. Additionally, excessive government spending makes other nations bear a substantial portion of the US inflation. With that in mind, it makes sense why recent reports claim that the US stimulus initiative during the financial crisis sparked a currency war that devalued the dollar in an effort to strengthen the American economy. There is a strong possibility that other countries may wish to compete. Even Saudi Arabia signed a new trade pact, ultimately increasing pressure on the United States. But the fact remains that the US dollar is being traded less and that there is greater rivalry between countries, and neither of these trends is likely to subside very soon. Hi, we hope that watching this video was interesting and that you learned something valuable. If you enjoyed it, please hit the notification button, like, subscribe, and watch more of our videos. Also, don't forget to share your comments in the comment section below. This is Finance Sense, helping you stay current on all the most recent changes in the financial markets and economy. Stay safe and look out for the next video.